Hey there guys, this is me, Malorian, and this is going to be another War Machine Battle Report. Now, this is coming from a tournament I did on the weekend, and it was actually a Champions event. Now, I took Cyphon and Ashland, and I was looking forward to doing some awesome things, but some weird things happened. So where I was going to be doing the full battle reports for all the games, I decided I'm not going to because I don't want to stir up, a hornet's nest. What I do want to, though, is focus on this game here, because this is going to be one of the closest and best games I've had in a very long time. As I said, it is game 3, and it's going to be my Cyphon up against my buddy's Garnet's Asphyxious 1 list. Now, his list is all the raiders and blah, 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 blah. This is on the scenario with lots of scoring, and as you can see, we both have a lot of infantry. So going into this, I was pretty sure it's going to be very bloody. He has a lot of infantry that have multiple attacks, so they'll be very good at trying to claw through my guys. One of the things that's unfortunate is that Cyphon and with my feet making my wreckers stronger really won't help me too much. However, that empathic overload where I'm making things explode will really help. And with that being said, I mean, normally where I'm trying to use the benders to make the slavers super strong and adrenal flood them, no, I am going to be saving every single bender I can to explode and try and kill as many guys as possible. So yeah, I am really wondering how this game is going to go. He is a fantastic player, was on WTC last year, and at this point here, I'm just kind of hoping I can blow up his dudes and start some scoring. Now, I do have one unit is going to be ambushing, a Min Slaver unit. He could have been ambushing his raiders there, the ones that aren't the statistics, whatever they're called. Man, I should have maybe looked up those units' names before I started this battle report, but it's the one without the whips, the one that can normally ambush with the hag. He decided not to ambush, and I mean, I don't really understand it. I've played this matchup before, and when they ambush in, they do some damage, and then my benders blow them up, so maybe that's what he was kind of thinking of. I'm not really sure, but either way, let's see how this goes. So I win first turn, which is fantastic, and really all I'm doing on my turn is rushing on up there. There's not really a ton he can do to really hurt me at this point, so I'm really just pushing up as far as I can go. Perseverance is going to be going up on the Cyphon to make him a little bit harder to assassinate, just in case he's trying some crazy, spell assassination there. And otherwise, I have 3 focus on one of my wreckers, 2 on the other. They're not even running up because they're not really in a rush in this type of matchup. And then back over to my opponent. And yeah, he had a little bit of a surprise for me. So for starters, of course, things are kind of moving on up and getting a little bit scary. But the one thing he does is he runs up his arc node, arcs through a Breath of Corruption, and I'm stealth, so it's got a scatter. It scatters 1 inch to the 1, which is absolutely perfect for him. Boost, 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 and I'm down a unit of overlords already. This was devastating. Normally those overlords on this next turn, they could have advanced up, started to spraying, and then of course he'll come and kill the overlords, but then I'm ready to counterattack and we're starting the peace trade. But with this, just got a good scatter, they're dead, and there you go. So that is very unfortunate, but there's no time for tears. You gotta just kind of keep on going with it. Now, at this point here, I'm not really threatening a lot. What I need to do is really kind of put the pressure on his zone. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring my ambushers now from the right side and just kind of start getting in there. On the left side, of course, I have at least 1 unit of overlords still alive, so they can go up there and start spraying. But yeah, at this point here, I just need to kind of feed him my slavers so that he can dedicate and kill them, and then be in a spot where I can kill him back. Alright, so like I said, the slavers come in from the right, they ambush in, and they kill 1 guy and wake 1 more, sure, why not? Again, they're just there to kind of die, and that's why the benders on the right, they're sweeping around the flank, wanting to get in there and saying, alright, once you kill my dudes, I'm going to come back and blow you up. I also have 1 bender. If you look at the slavers, the main unit that's coming up on the right, in the very middle I got 1 bender that's sneaking in there, so hopefully he survives. I do have a machine wraith on the flag just in case he can't dig his way far enough in. And then on the left side, I mean, I have the Overlords. They go up there and they spray. They kill about 4 Raiders, which is pretty nice. Otherwise, you know, I could have Adrenal Flooded some of the Slavers to do some damage to, say, like, the Arc Node or something like that. But I just didn't feel it was really worth it. I really need to save all the Benders I can. The Wreckers are now fully topped up. They're up there saying, all right, if any Barathrum comes in, I'm going to smash ya. If that Arc Node stays there, hey, I have no problem using one to smash an Arc Node and that Cankerworm. And probably the biggest mistake I made this turn is that the unit that I couldn't remember the name of before, the Blood Witches, I go and blast them with a Empathic Overload and forgot they had Stealth. So, I mean, I could have gone after a different unit, but yeah, I went after one with Stealth because I'm super duper smart. So that's a lost opportunity and just focus thrown away. But again, I really feel that right now I'm kind of like putting the onus on him to really try and claim back all this table space I've taken. And even though I know I'm going to be taking a huge licking this next turn, I'm setting myself up for a big counterattack after this. So like you'd expect, he kills a lot of my stuff. One of the things I really didn't think he'd be able to do, though, is make such a great play on Scenario. So really, he's able to kill enough where on the left side, he's able to kill off all the Overlords. Of course, a lot of the Slavers are up there in the front. They're all dying. But because of his solos and his ability to kill and get so deep, he's able to, of course, clear his own zone, because of course, he's able to get a solo on the left flag, a solo in the middle flag, a model into my zone, and a model contesting my flag on the right. He also kills that Bender I was hiding in there too, so that's super sad. Another thing that was also unfortunate is that there on the right, those Benders who are flanking to come in, he kind of sets us up really nice with 2 Breaths of Corruption. So if I try and go through there, I'm going to have to actually like die because I'll take a point. At least 1 tough, so that one can actually just walk through and be fine. But yeah, at the end of this turn 2, he's actually going up 3-0. So all of a sudden, where this is going to be a super bloody game and I'm going to have to try and work on the attrition, he's really made a very strong play for Scenario. So what I really need to do now is just make these things explode. Clearly, as you can see, Barathrum running to the right, he is really concentrating around his own zone there. I believe this is actually also the turn that he feeded as well. So he rolls a lot of dice and really doesn't get a lot done. I should have mentioned that. Even with the one unit that he parasites and stuff like that, you can see that was the main slaver unit coming in. The problem is that my armor being starting off as 15 just doesn't really allow him to get very much done with that feat. You know, if my armor was 11 or 12 or something, sure, he'd get a lot more kills. But in here, where he's trying to get something, you know, rolling really high dice, just to hope then that I don't tough, it actually killed his clock. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe I'll have a clock play, but that's too far away. It's not like he spent like half an hour this turn. It's just an ion clock. Alright, so going into my turn 3, I am ready to start getting a lot more aggressive with this play here. So on the right side, I have some Benders going in and starting to explode those Raiders over there. And you can see the Raiders are really taking a massive hit. Because my Machine Wraiths aren't really necessary, I'm getting a little bit more aggressive with them. So say the Machine Wraith on the left, where I knew I couldn't really clear that flag this turn, what I was hoping to do is use my Machine Wraith to kill his solo. His solo is like defense 14, so I needed to roll well. I didn't. So whatever, I'm there contesting and I'll just make it that much harder. On the right side though, this was really born out of me just getting pretty unlucky, where what I wanted to do is use like 5 of my slavers to like combo attack in and kill one of the raiders that was there contesting, and then even though I couldn't really get anything into a zone, I can just make that new slaver in the zone. But I rolled double 1s because of course I did. And then so I had to do this swap thing where the Machine Wraith runs in. I have to then make room so that an agitator can get into my right flag so I can start trying to score that. And then I really needed that Arc Node and that Cankerworm to go away. So that's really what I do. I go in there, I pop my feet to get myself just that much stronger, and then I send in one wrecker. It's able to kill off both. That was actually kind of lucky dice to actually be like hitting the Cankerworm with like a last attack type thing. But hey, that's great. It's up there. It's going to be hard to remove and take away. And even if he does, the second wrecker there, number 2, is also contesting that flag. And assuming that he has to do this with Barathrum, I am ready to come in and kill Barathrum back. So with this, I'm able to score my own flag, my own zone. So I made it 3-2, and I'm starting to fight this back. But remember that with me going first, it doesn't really matter what it is at the end of my turn. It really matters what it is at the end of his turn. So on his turn, he's going in there and killing more stuff. I'm always kind of, you know, surprised by how much he's able to kill. And so around the left flag, he's able to kill off enough guys there, including my Machine Wraith, that again, that solo's there scoring it. Here I thought I'd be overwhelming him, but he even has a spare little Raider to throw into my zone to contest my spot. Barathrum's able to go and kill off the one wrecker, and then he has this other solo that charges through and just rolls the world and does like 17 damage to my wrecker number 2 already. So not only is it like in a very annoying spot, but it's also really hurt my wrecker before it even got to do anything. So yeah, that super sucks. Of course, on the right side, that infantry is starting to come up and doing more damage there. A lot of the Blood Witches are doing these things where, like, hey, if I kill something, I go incorporeal, which I don't really care because I'm going to be killing them with magical explosions anyway. But yeah, you can see how things are already starting to kind of really thin out. Now, from this, he was able to score on his own zone and his flag on the left, and everything else is contested. So now it's 5-2, and you know, I'm just really having to try and push this back. Now, I don't have a lot to actually be threatening his flag a lot this turn here, so I'm going to have to try and find a good way to be dealing with that. However, what I'm hoping to do is use some empathetic overloads to kill off these 2 contesting models that I have in my own zone here, which will then free up the wrecker to go into Barathrum. If Barathrum's gone, that's really going to make me happy. Meanwhile, on the right, I mean, this is what I was needing to set up, so that even though he has a lot of infantry there, this is time for the benders to go in there, explode, make them all go away, and yeah, then hopefully he'll be in a spot where he's just having a hard time having enough models to come back at me. So on my side, that's what I do. Those overloads are able to clear off my own zone, so that's great. The one agitator goes up to go instigate, and he gets countercharged. And so that was just so stupid. I did not need to get that close to Barathrum in order to actually set that up for the wrecker for the +2/+2. And luckily, he misses the hit. So that was huge. If he just rolls a 6 or whatever it was needed to hit me, my wrecker probably doesn't kill Barathrum, and this game is done. So I was just really dodged a bullet there. Otherwise, as you can see on the board here, my wrecker then does kill off Barathrum. I'm really just trying to throw my benders on the left side into his face, saying, all right, if you don't kill me, I'm killing you for sure. So in this case here, I clear off my zone. I'm able to sneak one into his zone. Like, look on the right there. Explosions galore. Everything's gone. So he's really down a lot of models. I'm scoring 2 points now. So it's now going to be 5-4, and I'm climbing my way kind of back. But yeah, we'll see what he does next. So what he does is just going to keep on attritioning, and the best part of this is that he was not able to kill off everything on the left. I mean, between him missing armor rolls and me making toughs, you know, I was missing a couple of toughs before this. Now the luck is really kind of swinging back my way. Otherwise, the Blood Witches, they charge in and they're able to kill off my wrecker and get into my zone. So, okay, you know, normally I would not expect this to happen, but keep in mind that that one wrecker took that massive 17 hit. So yeah, that's going to kind of happen after the fact. And then otherwise, the biggest issue here on the right is I got a stupid arc node coming up here to kind of contest my zone. So that's kind of super annoying. He does now start off his scoring again with his own zone there. So what is it now, like 6-4 I think it is. But yeah, this grind is going to continue. Alright, so on my turn, I need to start trying to kill off this Arc Node. By the way, I believe earlier I said that I did kill the Arc Node. No, the Arc Node had run away. I killed another solo that was there, the solo and the Cankerworm. So yeah, this Arc Node has been kind of like haunting me since. And so with this walking up a couple of models and exploding, I did really cripple it, but it is still there, unfortunately. In fact, I'm actually kind of lucky that I'm even able to do this because it came up, took a shot at me, and as you can see there, I survived with 2 boxes. But now the biggest news is that I'm really starting to turn this around, where he's been really controlling this left flag. I'm able to go up there with my benders and explode them, so that flag, unless Gaspy runs over there, he is not going to score that. Now, I did keep the one bender leader back in my zone because if later on I need Cyphon to run out and control one of those flags, I'll need a unit, which is at least that unit leader, in my zone to be scoring there. And then on the right side, whatever I had left kind of like scatters in the zone. And so I'm pretty sure that Gaspy will be able to go over there and kill them. However, I need Gaspy to move away from Cyphon to not threaten me. Now, while we're talking about this is why I had to kind of throw away my last solo. Now, this is getting to the end of the game. Every solo on a scenario like this is absolutely key. And as you can see here, I just threw away my last solo where it's standing right here in front. Now, the reason why I did that is because after Cyphon had to do his thing over here, I was really worried that he would then be able to like put Parasite onto me and make his charges in and do some spells and kill me off. And by having that solo there, not only is it an enticing target to go after instead of Cyphon, but thanks to that 1-inch reach, makes it very hard for him to effectively get a lot of models onto me. So I'm trying to hopefully either maybe kind of keep him out of my zone, which I'm sure I won't, but again, just keeping Cyphon alive. And otherwise, you know, I'm scoring my zone now. He's not scoring his. So again, trying to crawl back from this hole that I'm in. So on his turn, he keeps on going. So like I hoped, Gaspy went to the right side, and he's able to kill off those 3 models with, you know, Hellfires and swinging his big hold sword. I was really hoping that when his unit was running out to go after that solo, that they'd actually leave his zone, so that maybe I could find some way to kill his objective and actually when I run somebody in, score. But I mean, that's kind of a long shot anyway, and he does keep somebody back. Otherwise, he does kill the agitator, he does get into my zone, he does kill the one bender leader on the bottom right, so that super sucks. But yeah, I mean, this is really coming down to it now, guys, and I just really need to be in a spot here where I can go and try and get up on this scenario. So obviously the one bender leader on the left, he can just explode and kill the guy right here. And then what I need to do is just move over, explode these 2 by the flag, and I believe there's actually a room for me to be on that flag as well. So I can just start scoring that and being out of range of Gaspy. And as long as I can try and like deal with this Arc Node, I should be able to keep on like contesting his zone and all that cool stuff. So it kind of works, but not completely. The biggest thing is that the way it worked out is I could not get into the flag base to base given where his models were. So I do come up here, and of course, like I said, the other bender exploded. I come over here and explode them, and then there was one last model that he had that I sprayed down to make sure that it was no longer going to be an issue. So they're all gone, but maybe there's some other way I could have done it where I could have cast those spells and something first and then move to the flag. But either way, you know, it's getting down to the game, getting down low on clock for both of us. By the way, whereas before I'd hoped for maybe a clock victory, that's not going to happen now. We have so few models, and even though we're down to like sub 10 minutes, because we have so few models, I mean, you don't need to have a lot of time anyway. Otherwise, you can see I'm contesting his zone, I'm scoring my zone, and just keeping this up. This is getting really crazy. So on his turn, which by the way is like the bottom of turn 6, what he's able to do is, of course, use Gaspy to move further away, kill off that model, and score his own zone, which I'm okay with. And then the most annoying thing, which I really didn't see coming, was that the Arc Node took a free strike, came over here. Unfortunately, I missed the free strike. That would have been awesome if I just would have killed it. But it came over here, he arced through it, and was able to kill off the guy in my zone. And so now we're in this situation where he has an Arc Node, an almost dead Arc Node in his caster, and all I have is my caster and one regular Bender Grunt. And I believe going into this last turn 7, he is ahead of me by 2 control points. So I need to try and figure out somehow to do this turn in order so that I can actually tie at least the control game and then win on tiebreak. So on this last turn, I actually spent a lot of time to try and think about what can I do. You know, I could charge into his objective and kill it and then get that point and score his zone, but of course Gaspy will kill me. You know, I really wish I had that one solo or something else. And what I really realized I was going to need to do is I just need to kill this Arc Node. Now the lucky thing here is that I can like overload myself and then kill it off and like put myself on the flag type thing and score that and be out of the range of Gaspy. And then the way that I can actually score my own zone is with that last Bender guy, run him over, and that can score my own zone. And with no Arc Node, he shouldn't be able to kill it. So that's what I do. I'm able to kill off that Arc Node. I get myself in the flag. The Bender runs as far back into my zone as it possibly can. And so what happens here is that I score 2, he scores 1. So he is still going to be 1 up on me, but the way I figure this is that there's no way for him to score more than 1. So on his turn, he'll score 1, I'll score 2, and it'll be a tie. And so basically looking at the situation and agreeing with me, he kind of goes for like a long bomb assassination. So comes over here, tries to spell assassinate me. Does have actually has like a soul from killing my guy the last turn, but it doesn't really matter. You know, my armor is just too high. I'm camping too much. And so he scores on 1, I score on 2. And the way that this game ends is that it is 10 control points to 10 control points, but it's something where like I've destroyed 119 points where he's destroyed like 108 or something because I have 1 model alive. It was crazy. There's a lot of people watching this game, and you know, I mean, geez, like when do you see a game this close? Now, one of the things that we're wondering if he could have done after when we were chatting is that maybe he had enough room where he could move over and then teleport onto the flag, and then because he was the active player, he would score on the flag and not me. I'm not sure now whether he'd actually have the movement to get there, because the biggest problem is that he has to kind of like move around the objective. I mean, you can move through it, but you can't land on it, is what I'm saying. But either way, wow, what a crazy close game. You know, not only am I happy to beat a A+ player like Garnet, but also the fact that this is just a game you're going to remember forever. So there you go, guys. I really hope you liked watching this. If you have any thoughts on the list or the game or anything like that, please post it down below. But otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye. Hey there, if you liked watching this video, please go down and give it a like down below you here. And if you have any concerns or questions or comments, please put those in the comment section as well. You know, the best way for me to give you what you want to see is if you tell me what you like seeing and what you don't like seeing. So otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.